Good morning, Year 5. I hope you're all keeping well and having a wonderful time with your families at home. I know this week has been a bit different, but it's wonderful to see so many of you accessing Google Drive, completing the homework and seeing so many different pictures of the work that you've been doing, some activities that you've also been doing with your family. That's really, really great to see. I've been particularly impressed with, so if I focus on maths, some of the key points that I've seen have been really good is how quickly and promptly people have been responding. So really good, Abbey Road. Really good from Matt and Zishan in particular. What I've noticed is particularly with the volume parts of the lesson, you've made sure that you've applied the skills that we've done in lesson systematically. So you've put your working out your equation, then underneath that you've then put how you work in that part out, the first aspect of the length times the width, and then you've put your answer, and then you've done that again underneath by timesing that by your height. It's very, very clear. I can see you're working out, which has been really, really good to see. It's also been great to see people like Zainab, Chidra, Anika, Rahman flying through those fluency sessions. I've seen from the time that you've been on and how quickly you've gone through. It's really, really reassuring to see that you're topping up your maths knowledge just by these little elements of retrieval, which is excellent. Obviously, do not let what I'm sending you stop you from going any further. Use those maths books to access a little bit more. There's lots of resources online as well, and via the Fullbridge Facebook pages as well. So there's plenty to be doing. Just keep that topped up until I get to see you all very soon. Moving on into the LOL, so with the reading and writing and GPS as well. Seen lots of people putting on their answers quite promptly, particularly with the grammar, punctuation and spelling. Nice to see with the prefix and suffixes coming on, so well done to people like Logan, Matt as well, doing really well on that. Dean, it's really good to see you begin to access that. With the planning parts of the writing, it's been really nice actually to see your thoughts and how you're using some of the key vocab that we would have done in class, how you've begun to put that into your planning documents. Really systematic on how you're approaching the task, which is really good. And now I'm just waiting for some of you just to carry on with your writing task so I can see the outcome. I can see how Logan and Taya, they've already started, Abda as well, mapping out their ideas, begin with their opening part of the writing. Really excited. I've given some comments and individual feedback on that. But keep that going, please. I'm here. I want to make sure I can still see what you're up to. Keep connected with you as well. Of course, myself, Mrs. Fair, Miss Hilson, miss being in Abbey Road. Miss it every single day, but doesn't stop us from carrying on doing what we're doing, and doesn't mean that we've forgotten. So we certainly haven't. So just to give you an update, answers for maths, for the reading and the GPS will go on later today. We'll also upload the foundation subjects as well today. That may have already been done by the time you've seen this video. The answers for all of this will then be given out again next Friday. So you've got plenty of time to do the task, even if the answers have come out today and you haven't finished your maths or your GPS. Try not to look at the answers yet. Have a go at doing that and then see how close you feel you were. I hope you're enjoying the short stories as well that teachers are uploading. So each teacher in Year 4 and Year 5 will be uploading just a short story. It's up to you how you wish to use it. If you want to read it during the day, if you want to read it with other brothers and sisters or cousins, or perhaps you just want to watch it just before you go to bed, you're more than welcome to use it how you see fit. But what we've got for our class read, because we didn't get to finish Rooftoppers, we're going to carry on reading different chapters each week. They'll go out on a Wednesday. So please keep up with that. Keep checking in, and we'll start moving through the book. So by the time we come back, hopefully we all know what Rooftoppers is about, the plot, the characters, and then we can then use this for our reading comprehension when we come back. Just remember though, if you do need any help, do not forget to email. Email me at abbeyroad.drive@fullbridgeacademy.co.uk. Or alternatively, you can email the google.help@fullbridgeacademy.co.uk, and we will try to respond as quickly as possible. So just to repeat, abbeyroad.drive@fullbridgeacademy.co.uk or google.help@fullbridgeacademy.co.uk. Keep safe, everyone. I look forward to seeing your work, and any more photos that you've got, please send in to me. It's really, really wonderful to see. See you soon. Take care. Bye.
Good morning, Year 5. I hope that you're all keeping well and enjoying time with your families at home. I know this week's been very different because we're obviously not in school, but it's been really nice to see lots of you uploading all of your work and accessing everything that we've been putting on the Google Drive, and I can see that a lot of you are working extremely hard. Some of the strengths that I've seen this week, I've been really impressed to see Rohana Manab flying through the fluency section in maths, showing me that you've not forgotten your quick maths. And I can tell that Safia and Harris have been applying their retrieval skills in their maths as well. Some developments could be in writing generally. Just remember, obviously we're using computers now, so make sure that you're using the right spacing and commas and full stops, just as you would do when you're doing writing in your books, and just make sure that it's looking neat. If you need to adjust anything on the document, then that's fine. You can move the text around if it's not fitting in the correct space on your page. Just remember for reading that you can use your home learning books to break down the question and to highlight any keywords which you can underline or circle, just as we would do in class. And finally, make sure that you use those books that we sent home with you so that you can plan out your answers as well, or you can do that again on your Google Documents. But just make sure that you're writing your answers in the right place so that all the teachers can see all the hard work that you've been doing at home. Finally, the answers for maths, reading and GPS are uploaded today. We will also upload some work for the foundation subjects like faith and belief, science, place and time, and they will be due in on Friday next week. The teachers are also uploading our class story every Wednesday onto the Facebook page, so make sure that you are checking that as well. If you need any help at all, you can email disney.drive@fallbridgeacademy.co.uk or google.help@fallbridgeacademy.co.uk, and we will make sure that we try to respond as quickly as possible. But yeah, everyone keep safe, and we are all looking forward to seeing the photos of your work and receiving all the work that you have been doing at home. And I hope to see you soon.
Good afternoon, Year 5, and in particular to Universal, my class. I hope that you are all keeping well, and despite the strange situation we find ourselves in not being in school, that you are enjoying some time with your families. I'd like to say thank you very much for all the work and the emails you have sent me showing me that the work you have done. In particular, I think the strengths of our class have been in the fluency section of maths, which I think a lot of you have really flown through. It's good to see some of you trying the reasoning as well, and I'd like to encourage more of you to have a go at that reasoning section. I will be sending the answers for maths and GPS and reading at the end of today, but before you have a look at them, I would like you to have a go at that reasoning, because it's just an extension of some of the skills that you've already been looking at in that work. In particular, I'd like to say thank you to Hasnain, who almost as soon as I had sent the maths out had completed it and sent me lots of photos of his work, so thank you very much for that. Additionally, looking at that GPS and LOL, Abiha immediately, and Hania as well, started on the GPS, so very well done to you. And in terms of our writing, it's been really good to see that some of the plans have been really thoroughly filled out by Zubda and Karina. I'd like to read you a little bit of Karina's writing, which I found particularly impressive. This is part of the second paragraph of that description of Whitby Abbey that she has written. The salty sea air whipped past my face, ruffling and tugging my hair like the hands of some unseen tormentor determined to intimidate me. As I trudged, slowly, ominously towards the sombre structure, I let my hands trail along the rough-hewn stone wall, which marked the cemetery, or in amongst the dry, wizened spears of grass which lined the barren path I found myself on. Every inch I stepped closer, the ruined abbey became further and further away. Nothing but graveyards surrounded me as I meandered towards the macabre monastery. It felt like the leaning trees were showing me a path, luring me into the abbey. As the foggy mist slowly disappeared, in the distance a portentous priory stood intact, waiting for me. The lingering smell of the smoky mist tingled my nose as I strolled on. The pain of squawking crows was a nightmare replaying over and over. Crenellated walls cramped me in towards a narrow archway. It felt like decades, in fact centuries, before I had finally arrived at the cemetery. So that's really impressive. I think one of the things that has been really well done in there is the suspense and keeping the reader, who at the moment is me, engaged. So hopefully lots of you can magpie some of the techniques and maybe some of the vocab that Karina has used in there as well. So thank you very much for writing that, Karina. Now, on to some development points for us as a class. I've already mentioned that I'd like a lot of you to have a go at that reasoning slide. I just think it's a really interesting one, and that problem solving is something that we should practice at. I'd also like, when you're looking at the GPS, to have another look at the commas for clarity slide. It is one that we've had a look at before. We need to make sure that we understand what the sentence should mean, and from that add in those commas to make sure it is clear. Finally, having a look at the reading, I think a lot of us could have a go at just rereading that text, perhaps explaining it to someone else, maybe a brother or sister or another person at home, because if you can explain it to them, then you should be able to answer those questions. Finally, I'd just like to say thank you again for all of your hard work. I know that things are very strange right now, but I really appreciate that you are accessing the work that we are putting up for you, and I hope that you are enjoying those the class read and also the read of the day that we are uploading via the Year Group Facebook. Please, if you need anything at all, any help, or you would like to send me photos of your work, please email me at universal.drive@fullbridgeacademy.co.uk, and I'd love to hear that. Keep safe, keep well, and I will speak to you all soon. Goodbye.
Right, good morning, Hollywood. I hope you're all keeping really well, having a really wonderful time with your families at home. I know it's been a really different and difficult week, but it's been really nice to see so many of you accessing your Google Drive and completing your homework, your home learning, and sending me lots of different pictures of you working really hard. Now, as I don't get to see you in person, I've put together a few points of things that I've seen that I've really liked in the work that you've sent me, and then a couple of things that we can work on for next week's tasks. So for some strengths, I've been really impressed with some of the calculations you've been showing me, especially with Armandus in maths. You've been applying your methods and strategies really well, and I can see that you've been paying attention to what we've been doing in class. I've just got some pictures here. Feel free to send me pictures, emails of any work that you've done. With fluency, it's been really great to see, especially Rania and Ume. You flew through the fluency sections and you sent it to me really quickly, which shows that you're waiting for that work to come out and you're looking forward to doing it. With the writing, it's been really good to see the planning process that some of you have gone through. However, looking through your folders, I can't see many of you accessing and adding to the planning formats that you've been sent. So next week, with your new writing stimulus, I want to see more of you accessing that, please. The descriptions of Whitby Abbey, I know this is something we've not talked about before. It's a brand new setting. It's actually where the horror novel Dracula was written and based at Whitby Abbey. But Rania and Abdullah, your descriptions were really good, painted a really vivid picture in my head. If I'd never seen Whitby Abbey before, I'd know what it would look like. So just a couple of things to work on. When you're writing, just remember capital letters, full stops. I know I shouldn't have to remind you of that, but sometimes we do need reminding. And if you're going to write on your Word doc, your Google Docs, just make sure you use that spell check feature, that red squiggly line, just to make sure that your spelling is as good as it could possibly be. With your reading comprehension, feel free to use the book to break down your questions and highlight any key phrases. If you can print off, then that makes it a lot easier, but you can also access the highlighting tool on Google Docs as well, which is really helpful. So I've had lots of questions from you asking if you should work on the slides or in your books that you were given last week. The answer is completely up to you. If you do work in your books, however, if you can take a photo of what you've produced and send it to me as attach the photo as an attachment onto the email and send it to me, that would be brilliant. I'd love to see what you're doing. I know lots of you are working in books, but I'd like to see that. The answers for your maths, reading and GPS home learning will be uploaded today. They'll be sent as an email. On the email, there'll be an attachment for you to click on and the answers will be on there. And today at some point, you'll be shared a new folder, which will be called Week 1 Friday. And in there will be some foundation subjects, work for you to go through, some place and time, science, faith and belief, things like that. Finally, please make sure you keep checking your Google Drive folders. You should get work on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. And also make sure you check the Year Group Facebook page, which is Fallbridge Academy established 2014. There'll be a short story added every day. And every Wednesday, we'll be uploading some chapters of the Rooftoppers book. Now, I was really disappointed we got nowhere near finishing that story. So it'd be good if by the time we do come back to school, we've read and listened to as much of the story as possible. I know I'll be reading it and listening to it being read to me. So remember, if you need any help or you have any questions at all about any of your home learning, just email me at hollywood.drive@fallbridgeacademy.co.uk. Okay, and I'll try to respond to any queries or questions as quickly as possible. So keep safe, and I'm looking forward to seeing you as soon as possible, as well as any photos and work you've done over the last few days. Okay, see ya.